I was at Exchange, my first day on the job, and I see Rob, he's got his suitcase, and he's walking through the, where you check in. Yeah. And I go start talking to him, and Rob gives me this look like, what the hell up, Mike? He was getting filmed, like just walking into the thing, and I was like, all right. And then afterwards, I talked to him, and he was like, yeah, they're doing this documentary about the channel and all these different types of things. So it was pretty awesome to see him like walking around with the family, the camera crew around. The partners were all into it.
I'm so glad, because the first time that I presented, I was so nervous. And that was in October of 2016. And all I prayed that there was no cameras around. And now here we are, 9 years later, and there's cameras around.
This is such an incredible ecosystem of MSPs.
My name is Christine Gassman. I am the Vice President of Community for Mail Protector.
It's just so rich with stories.
My name is Scott Barlow. Sophos is the company, and I'm the Vice President of Global MSP and Public Cloud Alliances.
Mike DePalma, VP of Business Development for OpenText.
I thought it was time that it was documented. I like to consider MSPs the gateway to the small and medium businesses of the world.
Being an MSP is great because you really get to see multiple businesses all doing different things in different ways.
Pax8, we have a responsibility to show you this what's next, to usher in this new future, to bring that future forward to you.
You get to use technology really where it's delivering results and achieving outcomes for people, and it's not always the same thing every day in one specific environment.
Pax8's rooted in disruption. We continue to invest significantly into our community.
Thank you to Pax8. Thank you to the Pax8 ecosystem. Absolutely. Thank you to our partner ecosystem.
We are the #1 partner community for managed service providers in the part of our ecosystem.
Rob Ray, he is a best friend to the channel. Fantastic person.
AI and agents, they are going to disrupt how we work, and they are going to reinvent how businesses operate.
What do I love about being a part of an MSP? That's a really good question. We're in the technology space. It moves quickly. Things are always changing. What my job was 3 years ago wasn't the same as what I did 3 years before that. So that part of it really appeals.
It was time for a documentary like this to come out that could feature the partners and the luminaries, quite frankly, that have created this incredible community.
At the end of the day, these MSPs want to work with people that they trust. At the end of the day, when something goes wrong, every vendor is going to make a mistake, whether it's technology goes down, billing, whatever. But if they trust you, they know, all right, they'll make it right.
They'll do right by you.
They're going to make it right.
Yeah.
That's what this industry is. And when you get to like so big, like other industries, I've been in construction management, all these other things. It's not like that. You're just part of this big machine. But to be able to humanize a big vendor is kind of the difference, and I hope the channel never loses it.
Through this process, they've been asking my entire family, my children. I got 4 daughters. I got 4 daughters.
Yep.
They asked my wife. They asked everybody, what does Rob do for a living?
Yeah.
What do you think the answers are?
I think I can answer that.
If they ask your kid,
Yeah.
what does Mike do for a living? It's like travel around, go out for dinner, talk about AI.
Now my daughter say, my daddy goes up on stage, he doesn't get nervous, because that's what I tell my daughter before she does like singing things. Daddy goes on stage, he doesn't get nervous. He goes on stage, he doesn't get nervous, and he talks to people.
The channel is its own Hollywood.
Think of partners and vendors and the entire ecosystem.
It's one of the most amazing markets there is in the world.
It's a community of partners.
So the fundamental definition of the channel is just a route to market.
Sort of chain of relationships that ultimately serve that business, and along that chain, everybody is becoming productive.
The channel is the place where vendors come to work with a company like myself, a managed service provider, to go out and sell to the end user and support that end user and support the relationship.
The channel can encompass all size MSPs. Channel is like a triangle. It's the MSP, marketplace, the vendors.
Channel is a backbone of MSP. It's the backbone, it's the community.
It's a family. Let's all make sure we're all doing things together. We're doing it right.
It's a very special place for those who really understand it and that are a partner.
The channel, it's home.
And now, it's my great pleasure to introduce for the first time, live on the main stage, our new CEO, Scott Chasen.
I'm humbled and truly excited to take on this position as CEO of Pax8 and to serve all of you, the partners of Pax8. You see, every business starts with a dream. And all of you in this room bring technology to the small and medium businesses of the world so they can turn those dreams into reality. The definition of a managed service provider is a trusted advisor. It is a company, it is a firm that you as a small business can rely on to not just react and solve your IT challenges, but you can really trust in showing you how you can be a better business. First and most importantly, Pax8 exists to serve you, the partners who fuel the dreams of the small and medium businesses around the world. So who is Pax8? We are a cloud marketplace. In fact, we're the largest SMB cloud marketplace where small businesses, through their managed service providers, buy all kinds of software, whether that be Microsoft for collaboration or endpoint security. We have thousands and thousands of managed service providers in our community that buy software and cloud products from us every day. The race for advanced AI is well underway. And also, AI will become a staple of every product MSPs sell and support.
Part of the responsibility of the managed service provider is to make sure that they are looking at what's new. So, we're talking a lot about AI. How will AI fit into these small businesses, small, medium businesses? That is, in essence, the managed service provider's responsibility for making sure that their companies, their customers, the end users of all this technology stay up to date on everything.
Hey, Rob, in every single panel that you've been on in the past 2 years, what's the number one subject that comes up?
AI.
AI? What about you?
It's definitely AI, but it's kind of annoying now.
Why?
I mean, is there immense value to AI? Absolutely. But now you see like every single company, vendor, plugging AI, right? If you talk to a partner now or a prospect or a potential customer, what do you have for AI?
Yeah.
They don't even know what the value of the AI that they're...
It's so vague. I think the number one thing that partners are hearing from their customers is, hey, this AI thing, I should be doing it, but how?
There's one thing that all humans across this globe have in common is we are all resistant to change. We do not like change.
The audience now truly sees that this is going to be reality. So it's a matter of how can they prepare for that reality and make sure that they have the best relationship with their customers. And I think that's the biggest gap in our industry, is that soft skills gap.
Embrace it, kind of lean into it, look for it, and you will always be relevant. You'll never age yourself out of this industry if you're open to change.
I anticipate a lot of our partners are going to be looking at Pax8 saying, what are you doing with AI? How can you help me leverage AI in my business? But ultimately, how can I bring AI to my customers?
The thing about AI in the channel, it's hard when you're on stage because there's two portions of it. Mm-hmm. There's what's the value of AI for the MSP to run their business? Mm-hmm. But then how do they resell that, and where's the profitability for AI on their side? You know what I mean? So it's like, when they say AI, it's such a broad subject. It's like, yeah, I mean, every vendor is incorporating AI into their solution. But then what does that MSP do to differentiate themselves? To say, here's how I'm using AI to help you, Mr. Law Firm, Mr. whatever, you know?
But isn't that our job? As vendors?
No.
I would disagree. It's our job as vendors to be able to say, here is where we are going.
Yep.
And how you should be talking to your end users about this stuff.
The transformation speaks to unlocking more capacity. We all struggle with, the scarcity of resource in business. Whether you're a large business or you're a small business, we're all constrained. We want to do more. And the power of AI is its ability to unlock more capacity, to, in a lot of ways, free us up from the drudgery of the mundane, repetitive tasks so that we can go focus on the higher value opportunities.
There's an incredible amount of people that work together, all trying to achieve a similar goal, which is keeping small businesses around the world safe, especially as the risks become more and more around cybersecurity, as technology evolves with things like AI, as there are, game over situations for a lot of small businesses with things like compliance. This is where MSPs can help.
I am seeing college kids, because I go to MDF events where they'll bring it, and college kids understand what the channel is for the first time and want to get into it. Like, that didn't happen 10 years ago, right? Where,
absolutely.
Where some 18-year-old kid was like, I want to get to the channel.
It didn't happen 2 years ago.
But I'm seeing it. I'm 100% with my own eyes seeing that. And that's kind of when you know the channel has made it.
If I had any advice, there is a significant amount of opportunity for everybody in this space. And I think that as soon as somebody hears IT, or as soon as somebody hears cybersecurity, or now AI, people think complicated, techie, nerdy. That's not the case. I am seeing more youth coming into the channel. I'm seeing more diversity coming to the channel. Is it at the rate that we all want it to? Probably not. Pretty much every conference you're going to go to, pretty much every conversation that you have, it's something that's been talked about is the lack of diversity in the IT channel, period.
There are people that are like, what do you want to do with your career? And a 20-year-old is saying, hey, I want to go into the MSP channel.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
If I'm looking at kind of when I first came into this space versus where we are now, I think we've made significant progress. I think that there is more respect for women in this space than ever before.
I think getting more women into this line of work is really other women sharing their stories. A lot of females in high school, in college, they think of this industry and they think it needs to be a technical role. And that's what I am an advocate for, explaining that you do not have to be technical to get into the IT channel.
She directs over 300 product engineers and designers in building out our incredible roadmap that will take us all to the stars. Please join me in welcoming my friend, Libby McElhaney.
Hi, I'm Libby McElhaney, our Chief Product Officer.
I actually do see more women at our tech events than I used to. And, of course, you see women in sales and marketing, I'm in sales and marketing, but I'm seeing more and more women CEOs, which is amazing. Seeing more and more women that are in engineering, they're very technical, they're cybersecurity experts. So it's just really exciting because I think we add a fresh perspective.
It's an ongoing challenge to try to attract people, good people, into the space and realize there is a career beyond sitting behind a computer and coding. That's not necessarily what the IT space is. There's a number of different places. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that I talk to that weren't kind of like the natural norm in this space kind of found it by accident. Glad they're here and hope that we can expand and find more, but it's definitely something that we need to continue to invest in and nurture.
So I work with Rob. I was actually hired for Nick, but early on during my days with Pax8, Nick asked me if I would help manage Rob's travel schedule.
Melissa is kind of like my soothing animal. She helps me just manage and stay on top of everything.
I thought it would just be a simple, a trip here, a trip there. And I think on the very first phone call that I had with Rob, I think we booked 14 flights and 7 hotels like right out of the gate.
Christine Hack is pretty special. The energy, the amount of work that she actually does, she's a hustler. Like, she doesn't stop working. The laptop never goes off.
Essentially, I handle all the trade shows and conferences that Pax8 attends that are outside of Pax8.
I think Rob is as authentic as he comes across. It's not an act, it is who he is. He deeply cares about his community and every single member in the community.
As much as we're all on the road and kind of busting our butts, he is doing it as well as the team, but he really does check on us and just make sure we're all good and everything's like as on the personal end is good too.
It's an absolute pleasure to come into this market and meet all of you.
He flew to Bangkok. He was in the air, not including layovers, for 24 hours. He went for APAC's sales kickoff.
The AI Center of Excellence is not only going to help us transform Pax8, and I'm going to talk more about that.
I believe he was emceeing it.
People like to do business with people they like, and I've kind of always done that.
He certainly was meeting with partners while he was on the ground.
Listen to your partners, be proactive with them, and exceed their expectations in every single call.
When he was asked to go to the APAC SKO, the one thing that Rob said is that he needed to be home to go to his friend's celebration of life in Bakersfield.
So Brian Freistat was an icon in the managed services space. Very big character, very well-known guy in our space, and somebody I'm very honored to have called a friend.
So we got him on a flight, I think it was Friday morning, leaving Bangkok, and he landed in LA Saturday morning, I want to say.
Very glad that I was able to stop in LA on my way back so that we could actually go and really say goodbye to Brian.
He was a character. I mean, every time, when you see him in a photo and he's smiling and looking, larger than life, that was Brian.
He's just one of those characters. Like if he's in the room, you can't ignore him. Like he's going to talk to you. He's going to befriend you. You will. So I think I definitely met him at an event. But what stood out for me, first of all, this guy is like comes to you.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't even know you, but he's immediately trying to, not suss you out, but he's trying to see if there's something there that we can be friends. I found out about Brian. I'd just gotten back up to Canada for Christmas. And, kind of hits you really hard. Like we've been hanging around this channel now for 20 plus years and kind of grew up all together in it.
I went back through some of my messages with him, which weren't that far back, a handful of months, where we were chatting about, health and how things were going and family and, but that's why, that's why I texted our group and just said, look, if you guys ever need anything, call me. Don't hide.
No, and I get it. I mean, I don't think I've ever been in that spot where you feel that need, and I don't know if that's something that even helps, but it's disappointing, You feel like a little bit guilty about it.
How could I have been a better friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly had those.
Yeah. And I think
conversations in my head.
Yeah. And I think if we go back and kind of think about who is struggling in our space, I would never have guessed that he was.
Right.
Because every time you talk to him, he was always like, everything is great, everything is great.
I mean, certainly, I miss him.
Yeah, he just had that much of a positive impact on everybody.
It's hard for all of us that are still here. But when I look around this room, there's just so much love for this one wonderful person. Brian was well loved by everybody. I pondered about what Brian would say today with all of you here. Whenever you think about me, only think about the good times we had. No more sadness. I want you to live your life to the fullest.
It was more emotional than, maybe I expected. And you saw a nice big crowd to come out and celebrate somebody that we all love.
We had this special bond and really found each other in a way where we worked really well off of each other.
The IT channel is really unique, and I might tear up a little bit. It's a family. We've all spent, hundreds of hours, days on the road together.
This friendship that's developed on the road turns into a little road family. So that's the way it's been for a long time.
You kind of gravitate towards each other because everyone's there kind of doing the same thing. We're trying to present our solutions to different MSP type of people. And with that, when it all closes down, we all drink together, we eat together, we hang out together, and we really become this really amazing family.
And we take care of each other when we're low, and when we're high, we celebrate together.
The way that he passed, I think highlights a real need for us as a community to talk to each other. We heard over and over inside there that Brian was the guy who would check on you. And sometimes I think the person that's checking on you the most might also need to be checked in on. I hope that we can remember that.
Having to learn how to be more open to that, conversation and being more fragile. This was a great way for us to start really having that conversation and saying, hey, things don't have to be okay and we can talk about them, and, the detriment when you don't.
I love to see this where people have come together for someone that we all loved so much. So that's what Channel's all about.
He was an incredible man, and it's obvious that he's going to be missed.
He was the most amazing person. He loved every one of you, and he loved people.
The aircraft door has been closed. We're going to be pushing back the gate in just a moment. If you would please take your seat if you've not already done so. All carry-on luggage must be stowed, all overhead bins must be closed. Flight attendants, please arm your doors, cross-check, and stand by for roll call.
Today we're here at the Sydney Mission Briefing. We've been investing actually in the Australian market for some time. Actually, managed services as a whole in the entire ANZ region has been really, really good. The adoption rate of the technologies, the innovation that's actually happening here in this space has been fantastic. And we're no different. And a lot of the vendors that we work with are no different. So we wanted to get out here and actually see the MSPs.
The one person that we knew who was out there was really building community the right way was Rob Ray. We went to him and said, hey, you know what? We're trying to do the same thing. How about, you come and join us? And he looked at us and he said, I don't need you. It was like, okay,
I'm much nicer than that.
It was Canadian. It was straight up.
I think Australia is really interesting for a lot of people. New Zealand, I would put in the same kind of category because it's more of a westernized culture. And if you take a look at kind of where managed services is growing, it's always been in these westernized cultures first. We did a couple of mission briefings. First step went down to Melbourne. Once we left Melbourne, went to Sydney, had an opportunity to sit down with a bunch of strategic partners and key partners that we wanted to engage with.
There we go. Thank you, mate. Awesome, mate. I'm going to let you talk to many people. Always a pleasure. Thank you, mate. We'll see you soon.
It's kind of that keeping a pulse on what's going on, not only in this market, but just in the managed services space as a whole.
We're not one of the bigger markets out there. So I think what that means is you're out here at events like the Pax8 Mission Briefing today, seeing a lot of familiar faces, but also some new faces. So that's always nice. Being part of a community, it feels like you're part of something pretty special. And there's people that you can always lean on, ask for advice. They're not really competitors, ultimately they're collaborators. We're all working towards really similar goals and have similar challenges.
We always just want to stay with the curve and ahead of the curve. So I think coming to mission briefings with Pax8, you know that Pax8's the leader in the new and best and latest and greatest.
AI, automation, and intelligence will be the architects, the builders, the force behind a revolution.
Of course, a lot of that conversation continues to be AI. So an opportunity for us to bring Scott Chasen, our CEO, down, who is one of the top innovators in this space.
Remember this moment, because years from now, when the dust settles and history asks who stood at the edge of tomorrow, they'll point to you.
It's a global industry. It's an industry that is so vibrant and it's so important that we continue to build this community.
We are going to evolve and continue to change with you, and that is how we're all going to continue to stay relevant in this IT journey. The problem with Australia is that it's just so hard to get to sometimes for a lot of people in North America because it's a long flight, it's an expensive flight. And it takes a lot of time, but the value of coming here is so much more because the Aussies and the Kiwis, they are managed service providers. They act and look and work exactly the same way as everybody else in the world does. Let's talk about kind of like common mistakes that MSPs are making right now when it comes to packaging up cybersecurity, going to market. What's the thing you're seeing?
What I love about being an MSP, first of all, having a community around you to talk through different issues, find new ways to implement best practice across sales, operations, but also the cybersecurity element of it. Educating different businesses across the regions that I grew up in about the importance of cybersecurity, how to protect their businesses.
The mature MSPs have sort of everything planned operationally. They understand their ideal customer profile. They understand what their expertise is. They understand what their packages are, what their managed service agreements are.
Rob is an MSP legend because he's been there, because he has given his all to this industry. It's his passion. It's his essence is in this space.
So one of our roles here at Pax8 isn't just to create a marketplace for you actual MSPs to consume things. It's actually to develop a relationship with the vendors that are out there.
The community side is really important because you don't really want to be out there alone trying to work everything out for yourself. I always like to get involved and find out what's happening, what are people doing, what's not working, what is working.
If it's SMB tech globally, it should go through a managed services provider, period.
Normally, we don't get the opportunity to actually leave the hotel or leave the venue that we're actually at. But when you're in Sydney, you got to come and see places like this. It's absolutely magical.
Welcome to Sydney!
Small, medium businesses are what drives the global economy. Pretty much every country around the world, there's more small, medium businesses than there are enterprise businesses. And they all need to be protected, especially as things, when it comes to IT, are changing and evolving. Things are becoming more dangerous, things are becoming more scary, and more people are vulnerable as a result, whether it's identity theft, ransomware, whatever the case may be.
The number one thing in the tech industry is it moves very quickly. So it's a constant, ever-evolving industry to work in. That's one of the reasons that people get into it. It's exciting, it's fun, you don't get bored. It's also one of the big challenges is that keeping up with the level of technical skill, understanding what's going on in the industry, following economic news, business news, all of those things, and being able to stay on top of those as best you can for your own company, and then by extension, how you can serve the customer well and keep on top of things for them can be a challenge for a lot of channel firms.
What we've been talking about is not something that is like American specific or German specific. These are like actual IT, because a lot of the tools that IT providers use globally are consistently the same, which means vulnerabilities are the same, which means the way in which we protect and manage and monitor for those vulnerabilities is the same as well. You could take somebody from Little Rock, Arkansas, and somebody from Berlin, Germany, and put them in the same room, and they have 90% of what they are doing on a day-to-day basis in common. And I think that's where kind of a lot of the community comes together, is that we're all dealing with the same challenges, all dealing with the same tools, and all trying again to work together to solve these problems.
We designed this thing especially for you to execute, with you in mind, with our 3 pillars: community, education, and innovation.
I think it's important that the managed service providers that are out there go back and invest back into their ecosystem to figure out what it is that their vendors are doing. How are they doing it? Where's the innovation coming from? What's new? What's next? Like, a lot of that happens at these user conferences. That's what Beyond is.
I'm looking forward to learning so much and networking. Last year was a great show. It was a great experience.
What I love about Beyond is kind of meeting with our peers, meeting with our partners, meeting with Pax8.
I like to think of Beyond
as your portal into the future.
We had the goal of making Beyond the IT industry event for partners like you, but it's become so much more than that. Beyond has become a movement.
Rob has been hosting MSP events for years, and he's just a terrific MC.
Come on, you can do better one more time!
It is now one of the largest conferences in our space, if not the largest in our space, and we like to have a little bit of fun as well.